you are people. They tell me to talk about some kind of, some people whisper in my ears to talk about some kind of Africa liberation. I don't know how Africa is liberated from what. I don't know. What I know is Africa experiencing uh, all time high, second hand and third hand colonization and economic enslavement and proxy wars. And I don't know why they celebrate. I'm not pessimist, but that's what I think. You know, famous people, even people that I have extreme respect for, like Dr. Mulata Statke, the godfather of jazz, the Ethiopian jazz kind of people. They come out and say how proud they are being African. Me, I have no. I'm not proud of being something. I have another philosophy. My philosophy is there is no pride in something natural. You know, I mean, I love it if Mulatto Stat is proud that he created a jazz music and he's genius dude as he is. If his pride uh, rely upon that fact, I would like that. But I don't like people who say I'm proud because I'm African. Me, you know, I don't know how I could probably create nothing that I'd be proud of personally. So it must be the fact that I'm African that I should be proud about. But if I was some guy like Mulatto Statke, I wouldn't say I'm proud because I'm African. Why would anyone be proud because he's African? What is Africa? Africa is a continent that have, at least in this near history, when you talk about transatlantic slave trade and this shit, this is a fresh memory in people's brain. In America, of African descent, in Africa, scramble for Africa and colonization kind of story. I mean, I don't think there is a reason to be proud about. I think there is a reason to feel fucked up about. I'm honest. I'm honest. You know, I'm honest. You know. Okay, you can be proud about like the Zulu fight a colonizer or the Battle of Adwa. Ethiopians did their best to fight against colonizer kind of thing. Okay, because my grandparents were such kind of people. Yeah, I'm proud of that. Even that is like I'm proud of that fact or something. But I'm proud of being African. I think it's got another psychological thing in it that there's no real, there's no real, there's no real, you know, there's no real, you know. As much I respect Mulata Statke for being a genius composer, I know what is Europe. Europe created classical music. Europe created um, Maria João Perez and Marta, kind of female pianist in Beethoven and Chopin and all these complicated kind of breathtaking musical arrangements. And they have scientists, they have a lot of people. They may not be good looking. I don't even say these people are good looking. It's not people are good. Come on. Why would people be proud because they are created in such a manner and they created somewhere around the world? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, I'm proud. There are things that I don't understand. In America, when these black American people come out and say black is beautiful, I don't know. I know ugly motherfucker black people, and I know relatively good looking average people, extremely handsome black people. It depends on what kind of person you see. The same thing works for this white people. And pride is not even the expression that I want to use. Pride. I mean, I don't know if I really understand the word pride. I mean, in English, let me Google what is pride. Let me Google it. Let me check it out before I talk shit. Let me Google what is pride. 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 Meaning. Pride. Meaning. Because I don't know how these English people and a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated. Also, you see, it's referred to a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievement. That is the fact that Mulatu Astatke is a genius composer, and the achievement of those with whom one is closely associated. So he must associate himself with some kind of Africa, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. This is pride. So there is a deep philosophical question as to how to relate the word pride, into this kind of situation, because it says the quality or possessions that are widely admired, the achievement of those with whom one is closely associated. So maybe that's the part that because he's a musician and in people usually say Africa is the birthplace of rhythm, drums, one of the oldest instruments. You find them in Africa as much you find the oldest guitars and instruments in Iran, in Middle Eastern countries also they have that. Asian people have that. India is rich in having the oldest and most complicated guitar instrument Indians have. The Iranians have the oud. In South America, they have a lot of instrument, even brass instrument, but that works like a piano kind of, or like a harmonica, or like even like xylophone, a lot of, but the rhythm part, the drum, the claves and the drums and then the congos and the bongos, all these instruments are African. Africa is known, music itself is known like it has some kind of music and dance and entertainment have some kind of DNA in black people. But in yet, I wouldn't be proud even then, not now. The world is so fucking multicultural, and to define things maybe not really, because today they say there is some kind of African. I don't want to be a party pooper, because African people, these big outspoken people, Liberation Day, African Liberation Day. I don't know. To me, it's like it's too early to celebrate Africa. If there is anything like, as a Pan-Africanist, if there is anything like Africa you dream, leave alone to party. I mean, it is a time of struggle. It's not a time of party. It's never been a time of party. I don't see an achievement to say we are proud. And inherently, I don't think it is the right word to use pride if some people happen to be created or born or find themselves in some kind of region in this world. Africa is some kind of place. Europe is some kind of place. South America is some kind of place in the world. And when you see scientifically, at least in science, even in religion, when you see how humanity become what it is, then it is very hard to say. For example, if I listen to these wild people, they say we achieved these things. Look the contribution we have to the world. Classical music, yeah, that is something magnificent. Asians, I don't think Asians have that thing. Now maybe the 15 most admired classical pianists in the world, maybe there are two Asian people, but the most of them are European, predominantly with European roots. Even the most famous pianist of all time, that is Martha Aldridge. Martha Aldridge. Yesterday I was listening to some sonata she was playing of Beethoven, and I Google, where is this woman from? This woman is from Argentina, and I say, okay, what is the ethnicity? And the ethnicity, she is in Spain. She is in some kind of province around Barcelona. It's almost close to North Europe, Western Europe. And the other famous one, she's a Portuguese woman, Maria João Perez. She's also Portuguese. If you see all this magnificent music that all the world say, yeah, this music is, it takes 10 minutes, to finish some kind of complicated kind of thing, technical as everything. So Europe contributed scientists, genius people, creative things we used to fly, and even destructive, the most destructive thing, these white people. Literally white people created everything. To me, I have to be honest with you, people. I don't want to act like a clown, or a coon. I'm not cooning. I'm not cooning, and I'm not buffoon. But we have to be honest. There must be honesty. Okay, imagine that the world is a fucking idiotic place. And Africa is just like what it is now, and the world is not really that I know. Then I would say, man, not even I say we're proud, but we're different. We're different, that other things are not really civilized or something. But the world I live in, except talking of the Egyptian kind of the so-called Kemet civilization and that fucking pyramid story kind of thing, even the reality of the world as I see it, as I observe it. But my mind is not colonized, and I don't see humanity like, because you're black you can achieve this, and your IQ is this, your brain is this. No, the world have come so far, not that the world show us actually humanity is the same if you train it properly. It's not about race at all. Only these sick ass eugenics people, like this European eugenics kind of outspoken people, have a certain manner of explaining how human mind is. Some of it is supported by data and racial data and stuff, measuring the IQ and the success of Asians, like Asians score high and then Europe, and then Africans are in the bottom kind of story or whatever. But this is one way of looking at what humanity is. I'm not in that thing, but if you really see what this white race achieved, especially in these 500, 600 years, you can have a lot of narratives of what it is, which civilization, contributed to what, when it comes to the number system, the Arabian culture, what's his contribution to the cosmos in language and numbers and mathematics or science. But eventually, there is something that the world don't want to accept. Is something that we see. I remember when I listen to this kind of Tracy Chapman song, call it Upward Mobility. That's one song that I love the lyrics. It's the whole man-made white world is your master kind of song. When I hear that song, for me, it's not a silly thing, because even the food we eat is created by white people. So actually, predominantly, it is white people who made you. If you really think about it, I swear to God, people think like, oh, Africa is in a jungle. There is every fucking tropical fruit. blah blah in Asia and every fucking tropical fruits and veggies and shit. But when you really study, not even about these people talking about 10,000 years who created crop, who domesticated animals, who make the farms, not that story. A story like what who produce what we eat right now? Cucumbers, man-made. Banana, man-made. Apple, man-made. Carrots, not natural, man-made. Orange, man-made. Every fucking sweet things, and you see, oh, God give us all these beautiful things. Not all of them. Not all of them. At least 70, more than 70% of what we eat is created by white people. I mean, when I say white people, European, these Western kind of countries, or some kind of smart minds from the East, or it don't matter, but it is predominantly created by people. And those people who develop that kind of science happen to be in the Western Hemisphere, what we consider Caucasians. And now you go to the most admired arts, music, maybe that's controversial. Who admire what and what is the politics behind that? That is something else. You only create a world where if there is Van Gogh, or if there is Picasso, that's admired art by European society, it is the society that set the price of an art, and that tell you this artist is, why there are a couple of artists that are renowned in the world. Other than all artists in the world, there are only 3 or 4 of them or 5 of them. There's no kind of story, that is something else. But in general, if you see the entire achievement of the world, be it transportation, be it communication, be it medicine, be it, in every aspect, they take a lion's share of human achievement, white people. And white people, they don't only achieve, they are badass too. They could affect directly or indirectly, they would affect the lifestyle you would have. They travel far with wooden boats from where they live, all the way to Africa, to create the world you see. They may change your name, they may let you forget your culture and give you some kind of artificial existence, which for example, American people should live with. Like, your name is some kind of Caucasian name, but you are a black dude from that traces roots from Africa, and you just live with it, and that is the new normal of this 300, 400 years old story. I mean, what kind of magnificent, influential people you could be more than that? And then you actually decide on how the world should even integrate itself. Like, if you think about multicultural society, predominantly all cultures prosper and dwell with comfort and ease within Europe and within the Western Hemisphere, not even the eastern part of Europe or Asia, but in Western Europe. That thing become something that even other cultures and people will negotiate with white people. Like, no, you sons of bitches also a newcomer in this area. Like, for example, in America, white people are approached that way. As much I hate racism, and as much I hate this this inequality in human life, but there is some kind of fact that I want to accept, that if there is some kind of weakness in me, or I don't want to lie to myself to be proud about something. Like, I love the fact that I'm brown, by the way. For example, every time I see myself, I like what I am. And I never imagined, if I was a white person, that I'd be loving being black, loving something that I'm not. I don't think, because when you're created as white, then that is the whiteness that your thing will accept. It's only few cases, few individuals, they may be, well, I wish I was that, kind of thing, or they just like something else, you know, because it's not natural to love something that you're not, except you may like that something that is not you. You see, it's unnatural. Everything is some kind of media engineered or entertainment engineered kind of perception that they create on people's an artificial thought that's forced on people. Basically, that's what it is. But naturally, it's not human nature to to want to be something else than you are. I don't think it's natural. Like the case of this Michael Jackson bleaching his skin, or people bleaching their skin, or to look like something else, that is more a media thing. What is imposed on people's psyche, artificial, thing on people, to have a bigger lips if they are white women, and all these things is media and acceptance. That is more a psychological problem than something that is natural. So the world is wrong in how it portray people and how people relate, and that has to do with the people who have the power to control media, entertainment, and stuff, that people don't feel comfortable in their own skin. But when I think about achievement in this world, nobody comes to me except white people, you know, except these white people, Caucasian race, that contributed 99% of what I see, including the food you eat. By the way, I wanted to shit, but when I see this Pan African kind of Liberation Day of African Liberation Day kind of thing, even before I shit, I open this thing. I open this video. Some of you may say, man, this dude, he didn't show up alone, but he come with his shit. I don't mind. I don't mind. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? My point is, my point is, I mean, you don't need honesty. You don't need nothing. It just, you have to accept what it is. And if there are factors, I read the definition of pride for your sensibilities. Pride is something of achievement, or something that you are part of some kind of community, or something that makes you proud. If, as an African, if I'm proud when I see people dying of pestilence and hunger and disorder and greed and other people like Caucasians and some kind of global system controlling their financial situation, and how they should grow and how they should relate, and proxy wars and tribal wars, and a lot of elements that are negative to my energy, to my spirit, that something tells me in me, this is not normal, this is not nothing. Then I see also other cultures, they have big wars, they have problems, they have troubles, and in general, humanity is the same. But then, what could I feel then if I was a Caucasian? I'm not brain drained. I don't want to be somebody else. I really love the fact that I'm African, but not proud. Proud, I don't want to use the word pride, because why would I be proud? What if I was created as a white person, as a Caucasian, and then how could I mean, in what situation or in what manner, then I would be then I would explain pride. Then maybe it become more realistic to be proud, like, come on, man, I contributed for the realistic life in this world that we see is created by white people. Imagine, including the food you eat. You are what you eat. You go in a shop, in a supermarket, and you think this shit just pop out like some kind of wild cactus, and you see a cucumber. You cut a cucumber, you eat it, you feel fine. It actually some kind of benefit to your body, you know, at least not worse than water. and it's got some kind of photosynthesized kind of green stuff in it, so it's healthy. But it is man-made. It is some kind of man-made stuff that is created by Caucasian people. A bloody cucumber I'm talking about, you make for your salad, to make your salad, or bitches, they show up lying on the fucking shit like they're pretty, this woman, they put in the eyes, cucumber, they cut cucumber, they put in the shit. They created. Do you, I don't think so many people understand. They think like there is genetically modified food. This is that. This is soya bean. This is this. This is that. No, no, people. And I'm not even talking about crops like corn and stuff. The original corn in Mexico, the original grain in Iran. When people started 10,000 years ago. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about that. Neither that I'm talking about corn syrup, extreme genetically modified patented food in supermarkets, who fucking up your gums and who disorder your teeth. When I was in Europe, I have straight teeth, a perfect kind of jaw alignment. I never had trouble. Now, when I smile, even I cover my face because it scares me how big and protruded my tooth is becoming, kind of thing. So I'm not demonizing what it is. It is what it is. But you know what I mean? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the entire. And just go to a supermarket and you see vegetables. 99% of the vegetables you see is man-made. Your broccoli, your cauliflower, your spinach, your cabbage, everything is man-made. I'm not lying to you. Fruit, almost all of them man-made, plus genetically modified. Man-made and genetically modified is something else. Genetically modified is when you modify some kind of genetics within a fruit. But when it's man-made, it's basically you take two things that may not be even edible, and you mix them like banana, because banana was not really edible, white, fleshy stuff. It was not. But people now preach on YouTube that it's a natural fruit. Banana is not a natural fruit. That's why it has trouble to slide down your intestine, because it lacks this thing that you have in grain. It lacks this vessel kind of thing. I mean, people, if you really see the world in a realistic manner, whether you see there is negative and positive, the pros and cons of what it is in this world is predominantly created by what people. So when I see lyrics like that, I'm not only thinking about the fact that they control and they have the upper hand, or they decide in majority of what your reality is. No. Other than that, even the things that you consume, the things even you love, the things that you see intelligent is made by Caucasians predominantly. Cars may be something, the making of cars, not a motor, because motor is created by Caucasians. A car, the concept, the car concept is as old as Persian civilization. But who created cars and motors? 200, 300 years ago kind of experiment. It's Caucasian. Okay, some black American can come out and say, yeah, the real Malcolm, Malcolm created a train engine, a steam engine. No, this guy created guitar. No, come on now, calm down. Africa was in the epic of civilization in some kind of time frame. The richest man was a black man, a West African guy who dig out gold, who know how to capitalize that. You can be famous as Dr. Johnson kind of doctor in America. Pan-Africanist, no. Just come out from that. Forget about eugenics, European kind of outspoken people. Just think the word pride and imagine if you were created something else. In this case, maybe you'd be created Chinese or Indian. Indian also have really old civilization. They have the trace. They show you. They show you as old things like the pyramid, old things, monuments, libraries, books, written language, a lot of things, science, you know. Even Western Europe suck most of it from India, but I mean, Western Europe love India, love this Buddhistic kind of thing. Every fucking science in how you have to do with your body is they like that. I mean, everything has that. But come back to your senses. In this model life you have, who contributed the most of the things that you see. And actually, I'm telling you, even when these fucking gurus come and tell you, eat this is nice for you, this is good for you, 99% of it, they are talking about something that is created by men in laboratories and distributed to the whole world. And you go to in the middle of a jungle in Africa, you may find something tropical that is not tampered with, a natural kind of tropical fruit. You may find that. Today, you don't even find them. There are very, very few because everything is patented, everything is taken, to be fused with another fruit, because even in my age, I tasted the natural ones. Still, the taste is in me, but you never find them if you go back to Africano, even with my age. And I'm not old. No. Then, if people create you food, if you know people who created, at least by far, the most intelligent, one of the most, but the most intelligent musical arrangement, classical music, art, architecture, your food, your transportation, your economic global system, your ships, your planes, your weapon that you need for this artificial world to protect yourself or to harm people. Everything is created by white people. So when I say on Liberation Day, African Liberation Day, I'm proud because I'm African. Philosophically, maybe this is not the things that you take for granted, the way it is. But basically, there are even things you cannot push. No, I'm proud. I'm different. I don't need this. I can accept. But then you need these things also. You live on these things. And then I say, no, man, fuck pride. Pride only hurts. You see, like in the movies, in the fucking movie, that nigga say pride only hurts. Because then it's relative thing you're talking about. Then what kind of things I would say if I was created like Caucasian? This is the achievement and the contribution they give to the world. Whether they force it in you, whether they benefited more than they have to, whether they don't regret them when they harm other people or other cultures, whether it's not the world they create, it's not fair. I have my own, everybody has his own way of looking at those kind of things. But you see, this is how I see pride. This liberation, African Liberation Day, what I tell Africans is not to be proud, but to be better, because there's nothing to be proud about. Collision theory, to collide with each other every time, like fucking, flying things on outer space, like, this comets and shit colliding, exploding. I mean, why would I be proud about ethnic divisions and fight and not creating some kind of organism that nobody can tamper with, not to defend yourself, not to be self-sustaining, not to have a negotiation power, not the right to choose you who leads you, who bring you well, where you cannot determine your future by your own, not even create a world where your own artists, including art. What is the most expensive African art? unless white people get into it. What is basically an African environment protection thing, except when white people don't finance that and they come even to protect your wildlife? I mean, I don't know. But to me, what I think, to me, how I see Africa? That where they live is not that they created. Basically, the globe is not created by nobody. It's just nature. So they happen to live in the coldest, in the most sun-deprived kind of place that makes them who they are. And they love that. But even nature-wise, how I see Africa? Africans, Africa is the way I see it is like this. Africa, even it's at the core, the land where every living thing live in Africa, even the bottom is inferno, is lava, is fire. Look, Africa. Look here in Europe, you see it's cold. 6-7 months is very cold. Is maybe there's snow, too much water, somehow too much green at times, but snow and cold, and it's swamp. It's swampy from Sweden, Holland. You go to the Alp mountain. It's just mountainous, stony. And then the more you go to the north, it's more, this coniferous kind of trees and snowy and muddy and swampy kind of places. So this is Europe. But Africa, all the creatures, and there are no really wildlife and a lot of creatures. There are creatures everywhere. But in Africa, it's a mosaic of every fucking kind of creatures. And I don't create that. God, for believers, and nature is set that way. I don't create that, So, if I have to explain it, it's like all the creatures live under hellfire, literally. Like in America, you have also California, it's hellfire under it. In South America, some spots also, hellfire. Here and there, you have hellfire. Just like that, but Africa, especially the Great Rift Valley, is at least 30-40% of what Africa is. In Africa, in a lot of places, but Africa, just Africa as a continent, it is on fire. Under is a fire. And on the top, there are creatures. There are creatures crumbling, biting each other. You have the crocs and this real, this prehistoric kind of creatures are in Africa, and people are fantasizing. Sometimes they show you dinosaur without feather, and you think like ostrich is nothing, but it is ostrich when they tell you dinosaur, because dinosaurs have feather. But for their fucking stupid movie, they show you something else. They take the feather out, but actually all these dinosaur kind of creatures have feather. So when you eat chicken, when you see these flying kind of big birds, that's what they are talking about. So you don't have really a clear sense of what really Africa is, because Africa is a prehistoric kind of continent. It is now. Now. Look Madagascar, look Africa, look East Africa, look the Great Rift Valley kind of area. You see, the croc is munching on the lion, the boom. Everywhere is attack. Everywhere is run. Everywhere scramble. And it's so fucking peculiar to the people too. The people live the same way. It's just a scramble in killing. It is a war zone for every creature. It's not only for human beings. And under it is fire. This is when when mulatto start say, I'm proud about Africa, okay, it's some kind of musical genius. I don't know what he's talking about. To me, This is how I see the world, and this is what Africa is. Africa, the people behave the same way as all creatures around here. It's just eat or you be eaten. You know, the real drama in this world, everywhere is the same. You know, everywhere is prey and predator, winner and loser. I mean, this is set by white people. But Africa, without other elements and other people tampering with it, Africa is there. Long before white people come to South Africa or before colonization, Africa is there. Africa, you kind of romanticize what Africa is, but the real Africa, I'm telling you, I don't tamper with stories. Just I tell you what it is. Under the ground is fire, hellfire. Hellfire, sometimes you see it popping out somewhere, just like yesterday. You know, just like yesterday, these Congolese people, they were chilling, one in a sudden, the entire fucking sky is just blood red, you know? Everywhere is exploding, kind of thing. In Congo, in Zaire. You see what I mean? Sometimes in Ethiopia, there's permanent hellhole. So, you know, imagine all the motherfucking weird creatures, except these other people took them, put them in fucking, you know, parks. They depressed them. You know, they deprive them who they are, because these things are always set to munch on things, and these motherfuckers, the prey to run the fuck out. You know, there's something who want to eat it. There's something who run not to, for not be consumed. This is prey and predator. This is what it is, Africa. In you're used to it, but to look at a crocodile, alligator and crocodile is not normal. These are prehistoric creature. You know, is a rough toad, is a rough frog. You see the skin and everything. You used to it, but it's not normal. It rip you apart like whoop. You're in the water. Finito. Boom. It comes the lion, comes the tiger, dig, boom, you have hyenas, boom, you have wild dogs, boom. It's like it's like hasty. It's like a market, you know, where everybody's scrambling. It's some kind of it's weird, you know. Everybody's munching, scramble, boom, boom. Also, the culture, the political culture, the social hierarchy, and the social culture in every country. Starting from Morocco, even these Arabs, starting from Morocco to the way to South Africa, that is the shit. You know, there is some kind of calm and laziness in some kind of lifestyle, but that don't tell it all. But in how people related, you see, okay, forget people relationship. That's what it is. Hellfire under hellfire. On the top, creatures including humans who scramble. One is always looking to bite the other one, and the other one knows some motherfucker gonna bite his ass. This is Africa. If this thing is funny and natural to you, and I'm happy to be part of that. I'm happy that I'm that. Okay. But proud and achievement, no. I know a lot of America profited for the fact that black people go from Africa to America, and they created jazz music. They created entertainment, good music. I know that. Maybe that's contribution of black people for corporate America. I can see it that way. Now Africa also is showing itself, its character, its dances, different cultures, tribes. Yeah, I know that. That's just one part of it. Or sports, they're not good at running, or good at this, or good at that, or good footballers also come from there. Not that. But in general, that is human achievement. It has to be measured, that it becomes part of human civilization. It becomes part of who we are. You have to transport goods from A to B. You need boats. You need motor. You need big things. You have to always come up with creative machineries and the shit. It is Western people who do that. Now the Asians are following. Now 100 years the Japanese, and then now the Chinese, the Singaporeans, they take over. They know mathematics now. They copying up, even they're outsmarting white people. But in these 200 years, the base for all that is this Caucasian people. Electricity, everything you see is there, including the food you eat. But when you go to, when it's a Liberation Africa Liberation Day, when you go to Africa, everybody is scaring everybody. There is something after you. There is not someone who say, no, I'm chilling. There's nothing after me. No. I see. Let me speak in. I mean, you know, okay, show me one creature, including a human being, old, young. I mean, there are creatures, living beings and non-living beings. Show me in Africa some kind of creature who just sit in Africa and say, no motherfuckers behind me. It don't exist. It don't exist. It don't exist. Some living being in Africa that tell you, no, I'm chilling and no motherfucker is hunting on me. In Europe, you could find a lot of animals, a lot of human beings, business people who say, no, ain't no motherfuckers hunting me. I'm chilling out. I'm chilling out. The only thing I'm afraid of, just natural death. Not in Africa. In Africa, every motherfucker, there is some motherfucker who's after him. There's no really chiller. There's nothing chill exists there. You know? Have you ever seen an animal who just look at this, look at this? No. Most of the time, it's just something will chase something, and something will devour or you know what I mean? In the በአማርኛ ልጫወት ብለህ አፍሪካ ውስጥ አሁን ምን ያስኮራል? ማለት አፍሪካ ውስጥ ማለት ነው አንድ ፍጥረት እኮ የለም። መሬቱ እሳት ነው። እሳት ይተፋል። መሬቱ እሳት ይተፋል። ከመሬቱ ላይ ያሉት ፍጥረታቶች በአጠቃላይ መቦጫጨቅ፣ መዘነጣጠል ነው። ሰው እንስሳው ምን መዘነጣጠል፣ አንዱ መሸማቀቅ፣ መሮሮጥ፣ በቃ ወከባ ነው። መዋከብ፣ ወከባ አፍሪካ ላይ ነው። ወከባ ነው፣ ማዋከብ። በቃ ሁሉንም ሲያዋክብ ነው የምታየው። ሰው ምን ሁሉ ነገር ወከባ ጥል ምናምን የማስታረቅና የጥል ወሬው ነው ኦኪፓይ የሚያደርግ human life predominantly is occupied by በማጣላት የተጣሉ ነገሮች ሲነጫጨቁ ነው የምታየው። የሰውም ላይፍ የእንስሳቶች የሆነ ነገር ብሮድካስት ቢያደርጉም እንደዛ ነው የሚሆነው። And then the ground is hellfire. Fucking hellfire. Hellfire under the ground. Fucking የሚያስፈራሩ እንስሶች እላዩ ላይ ማለት ነው። እስከ ሰው ጭምሮ ማለት ነው። ከዛ መነጣጠቅ መዘነጣጠል ነው። ላይፍ ኤክስፔክታንሲ ማለት ነው። ላይፍ ኤክስፔክታንሲ የአንበሳው ልጅ ራሱ ተወልዶ ከሶስቱ ሁለት አንዱ ነው የሚያድገው። የአንበሳ ልጅ ማለት ነው። ይዶሞታል በዛ ብለህ ወይ በቁጥር ትድናለህ ወይ በቁጥር ትድናለህ። In town, the wildebeest in Tanzania, they only survive in numbers. Nature designed them to produce in numbers and to be slaughtered in numbers. They give food to the lion, they give food to the hyena, they give food to every motherfucker who is carnivore and who have teeth. And everything have teeth. In Africa, everything have teeth. Even children, they get teeth. Even human children, they get teeth before white people get teeth. Something scientific, I tell you, white people have smaller teeth. It's because of the food they eat. It is because of the food they eat, they consume. Most African people have big teeth because it's not really, the food was not really tampered that serious. You know, it is scientific thing, I tell you, it's not theory. The way our teeth, our gums is not like white people. So in Africa, if you see children, sometimes they bring teeth in the wrong kind of form, or from upper, or from lower. It's some teeth come. It is teeth. Everything is teeth in Africa. Teeth. Teeth, trouble, the ground is fire, and everybody is watching his ass out. That everything is munching on everything. The Africa end. Every motherfucker is hunting every motherfucker. There is no safe haven anywhere you can. Who's chill in Africa? Of course, you see people pretend they chill, but that's only pretending. There's always some motherfucker behind his eyes. There's always something lurking, waiting for someone. You know, it's like that shit in the movie he say. You know, when he explained about how New York is in the Devil's Advocate movie, when Al Pacino say those things. You know, that even those kind of literal kind of things are said using African kind of story. You know, different kind of wilder things feasting in the same pond kind of thing. This is Africa. This is Africa. The humans have no control in anything, including their lifestyle. And then I say, man, these people engineer society. These people form the world. These people are busy in what kind of world they want to see. Even sometimes because nature outsmart every kind of human brain, nature itself. And then things may change. Things may fucking change. Then I say, these people have a more noble cause, like what they think is noble for the world. White people, this time now, they already know after 100 years, if not exactly what they dream is going to happen, but they set goal. We want to see this world like this. We want to limit China as this country. They make some kind of geopolitical kind of arrangements and this shit. And this they do. But there are people always that their faith is determined by something else, and they don't want to admit that's Africans. I mean, not too complicated things. There is nothing to be proud of being African. Even if we talk on this matter. In the first place, why would anyone be proud because he don't create himself? If I create myself, I'm happy about myself, then I say I'm proud because I decide in how I look or how I do. But how could you say I'm fucking proud of being African? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The same way, when I even know that all this human achievement is done by these Caucasian people, even I don't think it's logical for some white people come and say we are proud, you know. But even when I know they have a reason, I can understand why the reason they say we are proud. You know, they created modern guitar, saxophone, all instruments people in the whole wide world use. You know, most instruments that are universally accepted by different cultures is created predominantly by white people. Saxophone is made in Belgium. Every human being in this world now loves saxophone. There are European instruments loved by all cultures than any cultural instrument in the world. You know, to the point whether you think, yeah, they copy other cultural instrument and they make it modern, you see, that achievement itself. Okay. Piano, who created piano? Caucasian people. Who created all modern instruments that people love around the world and use? Caucasians, not Africans. There is African old instrument, Indians have old instrument. Turk people, Iran people have older instrument. It's as if some African people, even outspoken people, they say we are proud because they truly believe there is a wound to heal by saying I am proud, or there is some kind of urge or some kind of interest to create that consciousness of that some people feel victimized and they feel inferior kind of notion must be there. Otherwise, why would you be proud when such kind of people don't come out and tell you we're proud? At least that's not the expression when they see their achievements. Why would I say that? I'm not advocate for these albinos. I mean, albinos have every fucking thing have a story, have pros and cons, and you can have a lot of philosophical arguments and all, you know. But truth is truth. You cannot violate truth. Who created this? We know where it started, how accepted it is around the world. I mean, I don't think Japanese see life without a saxophone kind of music. It don't matter which style. Europeans, Africans, South Americans, oh, continent in this world. Actually, other cultures call it modern music instrument. But for white people, that is the instrument they know. They used to have really old prehistoric things, instruments that look like guitar, but they're not guitar. Instrument like they look like accordion, but they are not accordion. You have this Irish flute, in the Scottish culture, they have a lot of things. They have a lot of instruments that people don't know that white people use in the 17th and the 16th century. Even some of them, they played it on the street. But of all that, these albinos created the most human achievement. It's created by these Caucasian people. Almost all of it. I don't want to get angry now. But all of it. So it would be very childish. I wouldn't say immature, but it's immature, childish kind of assessment if one tell me because of achievement. No. I'm proud because Africans are achievers. No. There are achievers in Africa, like people like Mulato Statke, high achievers. Yes, I accept that, I know that. But when these people come out and say, I'm proud because I'm African, I don't feel shit. It's usually word porn, slogan, things that don't make sense. Why would you be proud about Africa? What the Africa I know is everybody running after everybody. Everybody munching on everybody. It's like it's a natural theater, a drama that costs human life. Survival itself costs someone's life. But that is everywhere. But African case is different. Africa is the epic of showing that part of life. You see? The last thing, you can see in everything, that humanity in general is the same, and how it becomes to be is the same. That's also controversial because people say human race, Homo sapiens, but that thing now with a lot of science, people say, no, this is a fucking Neanderthal. And this year, these Caucasians were this kind of people. Their skull, their thing. There are more African skulls who are equivalent to a female brain size if you compare to European female. In some cases, even there are a lot of things that's generalized. I don't want to get in there. I know what I know. But in general, if I have to be proud about achievement, then I have to be born again like white. Because there is nothing like to be proud because certain kind of group people, most achievements come from certain group of people, that this kind of group people are intelligent, because that's not the case. That's why I don't like eugenics kind of people. You know what I mean? Even when there is some kind of factual thing they are based on when they analyze that, So in this African Liberation Day, I don't want to talk like a coon or a sellout or whatever, because African conversation is translated. Always there is misunderstanding and misconception of it all. I explain everything, but to me, it's basic. What I see, I tell. To me, is African creatures, including human beings. We're all social animals. We're creatures who are created and a part of the world that is fire under you. There is a fire. There is a fire under you. You are on top of it. And then you have creatures which you don't find anywhere else in the world that they're fucking cruel and mean to each other. The life is so fucking natural, so dramatic, so cool. Yeah, it is cool. It is kind of cool. It's different. But you don't have a fucking rest. You don't have rest. There is no African creature who say, okay, I'm chilling. It is not chilling. It is not chilling down there. It is not chilling. Every motherfucker. Now, the moment if I am in Africa, if I live in Africa, I know there is always something that hunts me. There will be somebody, there's something that hunts me. And that makes it unique by itself. But pride, especially when it comes to achievement, no, what achievement? Achievement, what? And liberation, you are liberated from what? Which African country now is economically or politically independent from something else? Who? Which country? Which African kind of organization overwhelmed the power of some other institution? Which African institution is not dependent on something else than it depends on its population, on its... Which Africa have a bargaining power to tell something? Some outspoken guy, somebody they're gonna walk out, like showing off like a Rwandan president kind of guy, taking out for African narrative in the talk shows like Meles Zenawi. No, a real tangible thing. It don't exist. It don't exist. But nobody gonna say, yeah, that's the case. Yeah, people get angry. Yeah, shut up, motherfucker. That's all you have. You may have shut up, motherfucker, and that's also part of the. That's also part of shut up, motherfucker. Is also part of in how we relate. Then is conflict. you know what I mean? Because nobody want to accept what it is. So I don't like in this phony kind of, in this kind of time, in this kind of funny kind of, time like Liberation Day, Unity Day, Power Day, Boom Day, Bomb Day, Boom Day, man. I say, niggas, come on, man. If that day to come, that Africa should say that, I don't think Africans will have an interest even to say that, because when you work towards independence and real strength, the process itself don't let you say I'm proud. That's why in Europe, these Caucasians, they're even when you approach them one by one, they are not aggressive. They're always risk averse. They don't show like that, except if they are not. If you see their football, it is a team play. If you see how they become masters, it's not really individualistically they are fighters or whatever. They are not trained. They are trained to work as a system, as an organism. If you see, they can create a quality military, organized. They can ambush you 3 days. They can, without silence, they can sit without ambush you. But in Africa, if you train a military, one of them will shit, or one of them in the middle when you ambush. I know for sure. If you take a 10 Dutch commando or a British commando, you have some kind of operation that needs silence. All 20 members, a special commando, you bring them something, 20 of them work properly with a schedule, with silence. But if you take 20, the best commando of some kind of African thing, one of them who will fart or who will laugh in the middle. It don't matter if you train him a lifetime. This is African character, I know. I'm not really playing funny or making fun on Africans. I mean, that's what it is. That's the things that I know. That's what I know. Maybe there is a standing kind of individual performer, a boxer, or a martial art, or an excellent musician, or even a scientist. I'm not talking about some individuals. We're talking about the majority of what it is. That's the Africa. The Africa I know, is when one negotiate really to create that kind of vibe, one destroying it. If somebody get up and say, "Hey, Africa Unite," there is some guy who have another plan B who say, "Fuck you, motherfucker." This is what Africa is. That's what I know. So I always tell people, forget about African human life, because life is life. Everything is complicated. Everything have intelligent mechanism to survive, including little insects or whatever. Just look at the wildlife then. Huh? Look at the wildlife. And then look at the ground you live in. Fire under you, hellfire. And then scramble. Every motherfucker is running. Every motherfucker is running, scared. Foot, 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 foot. And there is always somebody, you know, duck and cover. Everything is rushed. This is the African. To love it as it is, yeah, I love it. Nowhere else is like that. I love it. To love it as it is. It's not really as messy as India and as populated as India. It's not. It's not rich. It's not really poor. It is real poor things. There are a lot of poor things. But, it is this weird place. Africa is a really different place. For that, I love it. For that, I love that I'm part of that. I love me. Pride, I'm not proud. I'm not proud. I think pride comes with compare and contrast. Pride. Love is you love everything for what it is. That's what I love. I love Africa. Pride, no. I mean, it's hard to hate Africa. It is a very lovable thing. It's even the tragedy is lovely. Pride to me is with achievement. Like this place that I is life. This life is artificial. Everything is sucks. But achievement, there's a lot to learn, a lot to see, a lot you learn and you don't even grasp. Kind of achievement and dedication they have. That I know that I see, and it's through ages, the discipline. And when you talk about pride, then I should be born again as white, as Caucasian. No, I'm not proud. Do I love myself? Yeah, I love myself. Do I love the fact that I belong there and I love that? Yeah, I love it very much. Because that's not just ordinary, that's something extraordinary in how nature designed that kind of place. Is unique by itself. It's fucking unique. So I'm part of the unique creatures, part of the part of the part of the wild west. Yeah, I am. I am part of that wild. Yeah. It's like you see this African dude. He's a famous YouTuber who eat everything. He don't have some kind of specific taste. He don't have like he want to eat rice with chicken and tasting the soul, the veggies. No, for him, food is something that he gobbles. He gobbles. Like people like to eat different things. Not table manners, but you see this African guy with a little bit bigger lips. He got is a Nigerian dude, and he have this beer, yes, beer or the green beer, and he opened the cork with his teeth. If you see that dude, how he eat, he remind me of African boys. I always look at his program and how he eat. Imagine, if you are African or Caucasian, you eat food like when you eat, you may have some kind of variety, but you want to taste some kind of green vegetables and you want to taste them and how they make the spice. You taste this, you eat that one, you enjoy that taste, you enjoy that taste. It's not like by him, it's not like this. To him, he could bring some kind of food that don't the taste. He don't know how to taste specific food. He bring for example, a porridge. While he eat a porridge, he will eat something irrelevant, even some sugary thing or something. Boom. You know why people give you like you have dessert, blah blah. It's not because it's fancy or whatever. It's an order. No, it just when it's dessert, it's about you eating pastry, eating cake, and you want to taste this cake. You know, this cake and the other cake. This one is better. You taste it. That's the enjoyment. When you eat pasta, the sauce or something, pasta or a rice or something. Okay, you want to taste the pasta, then the rice. That's different. But imagine in Africa, even in Somalia, you have some kind of people. They mix things that they don't mix in. I don't see the enjoyment in how. So for them, it's just to fill up. You know, it's weird kind of thing. But you see, that's part of Africa. That's Africa. And then before he tastes the food in before he tastes the food in you taste that's the enjoyment. No, the mouth is full. Yet he put a lot of thing. You know, like when they compete who finish food first kind of thing. They want to just get it in, but it's not really enjoying because you're not enjoying the taste of the food. Because me, I like food. I know how to taste. Like when I eat a certain kind of food, I want to feel the chemistry of the food. You know, I want to feel it, and then I go to the other. I feel it. If something is boring in my mouth while I'm shoveling, then I want to take something to get rid of that one. I get rid of that, and that's how people eat. It don't matter how much you eat, how you eat it. But when you see people like that, you see, then in his brain, that kind of thing don't exist. He eats like rice, and then he eats some sugary pop kind of thing made for babies or something. And then that's the Africa I know. That's the Africa I know. You see, that's the part that I love. I love Africa for that. I am that community. No table manners, no order. Yeah, of course, you have hypocrite first class people who live there, like people who live in high places in Europe. Yeah, I know that. But in general, we always talk about majority. We don't talk about exceptional things, Like in Europe, when we say the majority of people, Caucasian achievement, we're not talking about all people like that, or no. The majority of the system is arranged for achievement, for a fucking achievement. And the achievement is a high class, high level achievement. It's not easy like just to play some kind of piece of modern music of a song and to play some kind of classical arrangement of 10 minutes long classical arrangement to remember in your mind and perfect it with technical ability. Needs some kind of higher IQ. These are the people who always outsmart other cultures and shit, and they have this higher achievement and higher class kind of thing they have, and they never say we're proud. They never say we're proud. They always have a philosophical explanation of it all. Actually, they hate themselves. Sometimes you feel like they hate their own achievement, and they go and look a primary kind of music in Africa. They go and admire it. Beautiful. They are like that kind of. They are that kind of diplomats. They are Europeans. But in Africa, I see, oh, we're proud. But then before the man say I'm proud, there is somebody shooting at him. Before somebody sit and say I'm proud, somebody shooting at you. You know what I mean? So happy Pride Day, Africa. I'm out. Happy Pride Day. I'm out. Happy Pride Day.